Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Going. That's not the name of the podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Rogue Report podcast. My name is Matt, and today, first of all, I want to apologize for missing a week. Stuff happens. But I am back, and today I wanted to talk about something that I don't think that I really covered a lot of music so far. For me, my music taste, it kind of just goes. I listen to pretty much everything. I have one big playlist instead of like multiple playlists for like certain moods or anything like that. I'm pretty much in the mood to listen to anything. I use like my Spotify playlist has like probably like 1,400 songs on it because I just keep adding it to the same thing that I've created since Spotify was a thing. Now, the thing that I wanted to talk about today in particular for music is there's a thing that me and an old coworker used to do, and we would go through and try to find some of the best performances that were ever done live on TV. We first started with, do we just focus on award shows? So any live music performances at the Grammys, obviously, but then like even, your best songs for the Oscars, some Emmy performances, the CMAs, obviously, as well. And there's a bunch of like performances that I have that I would put on that list that, fit that category. But then there's always just like, even like live performances on SNL can be fantastic and phenomenal. I've seen I've seen performances at the Kennedy Center for like the Kennedy Center Awards, whatever the hell that show is. They hold that show like once a year, and most of the time it's usually I feel like they pick certain people. I don't know how that show works, in all honesty. But let's just get right into it. The first one that I think that I will bring up, which is probably considered the best live performance of all time on live TV, which is going back to Live Aid, and that would be Queen. When Queen took the stage during the Live Aid fundraising concert, whatever the hell. That's when like everybody was just like, oh, this is the best thing ever. I'm not saying that it hasn't been top since, but that's it. When you go back and look at it, it's actually pretty fantastic. Like Freddie Mercury's on point, does a really good job there. I'm not saying that I'm not a big Queen fan. I'm not saying that I'm not, because I do like Queen. A couple of different ones. I'm actually looking at a list. I'm just going to look at this list. Somebody said Disturbed performing their cover of Sound of Silence live on Conan O'Brien's show. I do remember that very well. I do like that cover. I think it's very well done, and they kind of make it their own. There's Queen Live Aid. Yep. Phil Collins in the Air Tonight. I don't know if that was on a show or not. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, Prince's halftime show. Prince did a fantastic halftime show. Actually, you know what? Let me think about this real quick. That's a good one, halftime shows. Going through some of the people that have done the Super Bowl halftime show. This past Super Bowl was Kendrick Lamar, and I did not think that his show was anything to be excited about. I was excited to watch Kendrick Lamar. I'm a really big fan, but then when his show, like when his performance happened, it wasn't really nothing. It looked like just more of like a diss than anything. And that type of shit, I guess I could care less about. Going back and looking at it, wow, just to name a couple of that have performed at the Super Bowl. Bruce Springsteen, Bruno Mars, when he did that shit, it was awesome. Bruno Mars actually put on a really good show. I like Justin Timberlake is on here. I feel like Justin Timberlake has done the halftime show for the Super Bowl 3 times. Once when he was a part of NSYNC, then the whole nip slip thing with Janet Jackson, and then he did the Super Bowl again, even after the Janet Jackson thing. You would think that he would never be able to do it again. But actually, the last time he did it, that would have been the exact same year that it was the Man in the Woods album was released, and he was on a tour that year. I actually went to one of his concerts that year. Madonna came back. I remember she did her halftime show. It was the that fucking rap duo LMFAO that kind of, it was Madonna, and then they helped out or whatever. I do think Prince had like one of the best halftime shows. I did mention the one with NSYNC because it was like a shitload of people. It was the early 2000s or whatever, but it was NSYNC and Aerosmith basically jumping back and forth playing songs. And then at the end of that performance, it's everybody. It's like Aerosmith and NSYNC. They were all doing "Walk This Way" together, and it was like Britney Spears showed up, Nelly showed up, Mary J. Blige showed up. It was like this random fucking performance of just a bunch of people standing on stage. I remember the beginning had this really weird video where it was like there was comedians. I think it was Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler who were like, you know, coaching NSYNC and coaching Aerosmith. It was Adam Sandler trying to teach them how to dance, and I thought that was kind of funny. I do remember the Rolling Stones performance being, you know, it wasn't terrible. Was Usher was 2 years ago. I don't really remember that much either. I think my favorite Super Bowl performance, like besides Prince, I'm not saying Prince wasn't bad. That Bruno Mars one though was phenomenal. He did like Treasure. You know what's funny is I don't know the name of his songs. I just know what they sound like. But then the special guest performance besides Bruno Mars at the halftime show that year was the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And when they came out, I do know the one thing about that performance was the guitars were a little off. It seemed like they were off. It seems like you know how people lip sync? People guitar sync all the time. They act like their guitars are plugged in and they'll strum and act like they're playing guitar, but sometimes they're not. And I want to say that performance was one of those times where Flea and whoever the fucking guitarist for Red Hot Chili Peppers is, they weren't playing jack shit. Give it to Chad Smith to fucking carry your band. Because, I mean, now that I think of it, I mean, this isn't necessarily a live performance. This was recording. But if you have never seen Chad Smith blindly play The Kill by 30 Seconds to Mars, go look that up because it's possibly one of the greatest things ever. I do want to say that the other Super Bowl performance that I'll go back to real quick is the one with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick, and 50 Cent. That was just like a big nostalgic trip. And I honestly wish they would do more stuff like that instead of focusing on one person, making it more of like a, I don't want to call it an attraction because people necessarily aren't the attraction. It's, the performance, the music, the show, whatever. I like the stage and like the setup that they did for the rap group of guys, the Dre and Snoop and Eminem. I'm not saying that that Kendrick's performance, versus, the 1 or 2 minutes that he had like 2 or 3 years ago or whenever that was, versus the one that we just saw. I'm not saying that, Kendrick, I would pay to see him live. I'd pay to see him live plenty. But that Super Bowl performance wasn't jack shit. Let's go into like Oscar performances actually. Let's see if I can't find something like that. The one that I can think of off the top of my head is one of the most bizarre performances that I think that I have seen live. But then again, I didn't see this live. I don't remember seeing it actually live, but it is, you could totally look this up on YouTube somewhere. In 2005 or 2006 rather, there were three songs up for Best Original Song at the Academy Awards. I'm trying to figure out who the hell they were. I know one of them was Dolly Parton. The winner, released in 2005, the Oscars in 2006, the 78th Academy Awards. 3 6 Mafia and Taja, I think her name is, Henson, performed the song It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp from the movie Hustle and Flow. Now, I love that fucking movie. I think that movie is legit probably top dude, it's gonna sound weird, but that movie's top 5. It's probably 5, but it's still like the fact that it made it up that far. I love the acting in this movie. I love the music in this movie. I literally think everything out here is just, it's so awesome. And especially with this movie, like, not just it's hard out here for a pimp. Whoop That Trick made it's like I don't know how Whoop That Trick came so popular just from other things. Like, I want to say it's the Minnesota Timberwolves that use Whoop That Trick as like as a taunt to the other team. Like here in Pittsburgh for the Steelers, we play Renegade in like the fourth quarter, Renegade by Styx. The Minnesota Timberwolves, their Renegade is Whoop That Trick. By fucking, well, actually, whoever the fuck sings that song, because I'm not sure who does. But anyway, in 2006, at the Oscars, the rap group 3 6 Mafia, known as, well, what the fuck are their names? DJ Paul, Juicy J, Cassius King. The secret that I do know about it is that Henson's father, her father passed away like maybe a week before that performance. And she comes out and belts everything that she can. And like, I'm not saying that the performance itself is really bizarre just because of the fact that they are a very well-known rap group, but you don't see like rap as one of the genres of music that are going to be selected and nominated for an Academy Award. I mean, it was second, by the way. Hard Out Here for a Pimp was the second hip-hop song to win an Oscar after Eminem had won for 8 Mile, and that song would have been Lose Yourself. He did not perform Lose Yourself that year. Eminem performed Lose Yourself at the Oscars, I want to say like sometime in the past 5 or 10 years. They did this whole thing towards music and stuff like that, bringing a bunch of people back, and then I do remember them doing this like tribute to like a bunch of music, and then all of a sudden you just see a bunch of like stuff from 8 Mile, and then Eminem comes out the stage and does Lose Yourself. Now that performance was it is what it is. I like Eminem, but the 3 6 Mafia, go watch their performance of It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp at the Oscars, because it is rather ridiculous. And they perform the song right before they give the award away, and then they win the award. And like I said, they were up against 2 other people. The only person that I do know that they were up against, because I can't fucking find anything, was Dolly Parton. And Dolly Parton couldn't have been more excited for a couple of guys from Tennessee to be winning an Oscar, because she's also from Tennessee, and then she's just like, oh, this is awesome. Oh my God. Anyway, let's move on to another award show. Well, actually, you know what? I brought up the Kennedy Center Award thing before. I could stick with that real quick, because one of my favorite ones from there is Heart performing the song Stairway to Heaven in front of Led Zeppelin. And that was back in, 2012. And her fucking voice is just perfect for that song, in all honesty. I didn't think that I wanted to hear a female sing that song until Wilson sung that song. And the cooler part about that performance is Jason Bonham, the son of John Bonham, the late drummer of Led Zeppelin, was the drummer for that band, or that performance. So I thought that was actually really cool. And then they had a really big string section playing along with them, a bunch of backup singers, and then all of a sudden at right towards the end of the song, as we wind on down the road, the fucking curtain lifts up and there's just this gigantic choir singing behind them. Oh, that's one of those performances that I did not watch that live, but afterwards when it came out on YouTube or whatever, I remember watching that so many times and blasting it so many times. I thought it was that's up there for sure as one of the best ones. Another good one that I can think of right off the rip would be the CMA Awards, and I've mentioned Justin Timberlake already. Timberlake and Chris Stapleton were big because they did their song Say Something at the CMA Awards. They did an epic performance together. And I'm looking at it right now. One of the videos that I'm looking at is Chris Stapleton and Justin Timberlake's epic performance at the CMAs, whatever. The songs that they sing are Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey, and then they switch over and do the song Drink You Away by Justin Timberlake. This video has 7.4 million views. That's why it's so good. It's so good. I can actually think of a time where another one that I'll mention while I'm on Justin Timberlake is he did the song Only When I Walk Away, which is on the 2020 album. And Justin does that song on SNL, and it's phenomenal because he basically set it up the same way that he would perform it in concert, but he performed it in that little small 30 Rock studio or whatever the fuck. And it's possibly you know what? No, it is my favorite performance ever on SNL. I remember watching that live. This is the one that I actually did watch live, and I watched it live with my dad because we were big SNL fans. I just remember not saying a word. Like, we just sat there and watched that performance and thought it was the greatest thing. Afterwards came out like, no, that, hell yeah, do it again. I don't even remember what other songs he would have performed, but like just to give you the gist of it, if you couldn't find it, if you've never seen it, he does a lot of like laser work for that show in particular, or that song in particular. He did have a full concert on like Netflix or something like that. It was the 2020 tour or whatever the fuck 2020 experience rather. Even like that show, that film concert, which I think was in like Vegas or something. It was that was a fantastic show too. But obviously that was a concert, not on live television. But watching the performance of Only When I Walk Away from the concert perspective, and then, you know, seeing what like the differences between that and what he did on SNL, you're like, oh wow. Like they went, I never put my phone on silent. God damn it. That threw me off. Anyway, yeah, like the production that went into the JT's performance on SNL for that song, absolutely amazing. I'm going to keep it moving fast because it's hot in here. Another one that I'll bring up, this is probably one of the most recent ones that I thought that was amazing, is recently John Mulaney, the comedian, has a show on Netflix called Everybody's Live with John Mulaney, which is like a really weird scripted, it's not necessarily all scripted, but there's, you know, a couple of skits in there and, you know, gags between him and his crew or whatever. But it's a talk show. It's basically just a talk show, and then John Mulaney picks a topic, and the whole show's about that topic, and they always have like an expert and then like 3 random celebrities or whatever. It's a funny show. I love John Mulaney. I think his humor is amazing. The musical performances that are on his show are just the most random shit. One of the people that performed on his show was Randy Newman. And if you don't know who Randy Newman is, he's the guy that sings "You Got a Friend in Me" from Toy Story. You got a friend in me. I don't want to do it anymore. He performed, I don't even remember what the hell he performed, but it was just so amazing seeing him on a stage, sitting down at the piano, playing and singing again. Like, it was like, holy shit, like, how do you get the people that you get on your show? That's not the performance I was talking about, by the way. The one that I wanted to bring up, which would have been like, maybe like a month or so ago, they were promoting their new concert that they were doing because Cypress Hill went to London at the Royal Albert Hall, whatever the fucking, and they performed the album Black Sunday with the London Symphony Orchestra. And I was like, That's the type of shit that I love. I love it when people do that. Like fucking Metallica did that with like San Francisco's orchestra or whatever years and years ago. They were on John Mulaney's show, and that show is live on Netflix. Well, like maybe not every Wednesday, but seasonally, it's on Wednesday nights. So live on that show, Cypress Hill performed hits from the bong with a 17-piece orchestra on like live on his show. And I'm like, this is the best fucking show. This is the best talk show that you're going to have, because not only is it on Netflix and there's no censorships like that, because it's bizarre. He kept singing like, I forget other dude's name. I'm so bad. But he's sitting there singing like the hook, like Be Real's talking about hits from the bong. Who wants to take a big hit of this good shit with the big Cypress? Fucking look that up. Look that up and tell me that I'm wrong. Slipknot performed on Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know when they did. 2004. 2004. The band Slipknot performed live on Jimmy Kimmel, which is on ABC. They performed live on ABC in 2004. They did Duality and the Blister Exits. Or the Blister Exists. Excuse me, I'm a fucking idiot. This video that I'm looking at has 1.2 million views, but it was posted 4 months ago. So whoever found this and posted it 4 months ago, you're the fucking shit, because this is a crazy, crazy, bizarre performance, because I feel like a lot of people would have seen this and turned this shit the fuck off. But like, you also have to be intrigued. And I'll give it to Jimmy Kimmel for putting them on, like, or give it to ABC or whoever the producers of the show for actually giving them a chance and putting them on. They have this unbelievable crowd ready for them to perform. At one point, he even says, we got to get this show on the road before these fans start tearing each other apart. Ladies and gentlemen, Slipknot. And it's just crazy. It is absolute craziness. I fucking love it, though. I can't get enough of this shit. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to actually end on a list that is made. I'm reading a article from last November, the greatest live musical performances of all time. Couple of things are on this list. We have Madonna performing Vogue at the 1990 MTV Awards. I kind of forgot about the MTV Awards. One of the performances that I can remember at an MTV Award is Eminem performing The Real Slim Shady with all of the fucking Slim Shadys. Like all of them. You know what I mean? Like, wherever the hell they were outside of New York or wherever the hell. Actually, I remember this vividly now because it was Jim Carrey who got really excited that he was there to introduce Eminem. And then the camera, like, pans outside. Like, they're outside on the street, and he's performing with, like, I don't know, 100 so people dressed up just like him with the white t-shirt and the blue jeans and stuff like that. I forgot about the fucking MTV Movie Awards. Another one on this list is Paparazzi, performed by Lady Gaga at the 2009 VMAs. If you have never seen Lady Gaga cover the song What's Up, What's Going On by Four Non Blondes, look that up. It's not like on like a live TV performance that wouldn't belong on this list or whatever, but find that. Nirvana played Me against MTV's request right before playing Lithium. Oh, okay, so that's just, you know, them saying, go fuck yourself, we're going to play what we want to play type shit. The Doors did that a long time ago. Chappell Roan performing Pink Pony Club on Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary season. Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, Steve Winwood, Donald Harrison, and Prince pay tribute to George Harrison at the 2004 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I've actually heard this plenty of times. This fucking song is badass. Does that count? Oh, no, I guess it does count. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like, induction ceremony? Yeah. That's an award show, technically. Huh. That's, I mean, but, no, because it would fit in the same category as like the fucking Grammys and shit. You're giving away fucking yeah. Never mind. Michael Jackson debuts his signature moonwalk for the first time live 1983, performing Billie Jean on What the Fuck Are You On, Sir? Motown 25. I don't know what the hell that is. Then there's Queen Live Aid on that. Metallica in Moscow. Oh yeah, that's that fucking like 1.6 million in attendance. I mean, I know it necessarily probably wasn't fucking like live on television, but that is probably the best live performance or the biggest crowd. That has to be. That has to be the biggest fucking concert crowd ever. 1.6 million. Like fuck like any like Woodstock performance ever. The Beastie Boys performing Sabotage live on The Late Show with David Letterman in 1994. I've never fucking seen that. I'm going to watch that after I'm done recording. Rage Against the Machine performing Killing in the Name at Pink Pop 1993. Pink Pop Festival. I don't think that counts. Yeah, like Beastie Boys performing live on Letterman, that counts. I feel like this Rage thing doesn't count because it's at a festival and I don't know if it was televised or not. We got Disturbed again. We got Horrid again. Alice in Chains, Unplugged. Nope, that doesn't count. That's a concert. Linkin Park Crawling live with Chris Cornell. Well, this is just a sad picture. Lana Del Rey performing video games at Vicar Street in Dublin 2013. That does look like it would have been rather live. Wow. Jesus Christ. At the bottom of this list, I would like to point this out. At the bottom of this list, there's a bunch of like, hey, we know that like a lot of musicians have a lot of problems, but if you have problems, here's some numbers for some problems. For like AIDS, child abuse, wow. Gambling abuse, substance abuse, sexual and suicide hotline. God damn. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because I'm sweating profusively. If I missed one of your favorite live performances that you've seen on TV, please leave a comment below. Please check out this channel for other content that you might be interested in. Check out some of the gameplay videos. I'm releasing Royal Rumbles now, made of random characters. Listen to the Safely Controlled podcast with me and Rob. Please keep your ear to the ground for the next episode, and until then, we will see you.